Maher, the iconic voice of the Calgary Flames, has died at the age of 79. The news marks the passing of a broadcaster whose voice, enthusiasm, personality, and unmistakable expressions became deeply connected with Flames hockey for generations of fans. For many people who followed the team, Maher was more than simply the person describing what happened on the ice. His voice became part of the experience itself, carrying the excitement of Flames hockey into homes and allowing listeners to feel connected to every game, every important moment, and every unforgettable chapter of the team's history. His death was announced by the Flames on Thursday afternoon, bringing a deeply sad moment to a franchise and a sports community that had known and respected his work for decades. Maher was 79 years old when he died, bringing an end to a remarkable broadcasting career that had made him one of the most recognizable voices associated with the Calgary Flames. His connection with the organization began in 1980, when he became the first ever radio voice of the Flames. From that point forward, his career would become closely tied to the team, and his voice would accompany listeners through some of the most important moments in Flames history. He called games for the Flames for 33 straight seasons, a remarkable stretch that demonstrated not only his longevity but also the consistency with which he remained connected to the team and its fans. Across those 33 straight seasons, Maher was behind the microphone for moments that became lasting parts of Flames history. His career included the team's 1989 Stanley Cup championship, one of the defining achievements in the organization's history. He was also there for the Flames' iconic run to the 2004 Stanley Cup Finals, another memorable chapter that brought the team and its supporters together around an unforgettable postseason journey. Through those years, Maher's voice was present for the highs, the tension, the celebrations, and the difficult moments that naturally come with following a hockey team over such a long period of time. The significance of Maher's career was not simply measured by the number of seasons he spent calling Flames games. It was also reflected in the way he communicated the emotion of the sport to the people listening. His enthusiasm and love of the game became his trademarks. Those qualities helped make his broadcasts distinctive and memorable, giving his calls an energy that fans could immediately recognize. His excitement was part of his identity as a broadcaster, and over time, certain expressions became permanently associated with his voice and with the experience of listening to Flames hockey. Among those expressions were "Yeah, baby" and "You can put it in the win column." These phrases became synonymous with Flames hockey, turning simple moments during games into memories that could be instantly connected with Maher. The expressions were recognizable because they reflected the enthusiasm and personality that he brought to his work. They became part of the language surrounding the team, remembered by fans who had heard them repeatedly over the years. When Maher delivered those familiar words, listeners knew they were hearing a voice that had been part of the Flames' experience for decades. His style reflected an obvious love for the game. That enthusiasm was not something separate from his broadcasting, it was central to it. Maher brought emotion into his calls, allowing listeners to experience the excitement of a game through the sound of his voice. His work demonstrated how a broadcaster can become closely connected to a team without simply being a person describing events. Over the years, Maher's voice became a familiar presence for Flames supporters, creating a connection that lasted season after season. The 1989 Stanley Cup Championship represented one of the biggest moments of his long career with the Flames. Maher was there as the team reached the highest point in the sport, calling games during a championship season that would remain important to the franchise. For a broadcaster who had begun as the team's first radio voice in 1980, being present for that achievement represented a significant chapter in a career already becoming closely intertwined with Flames history. Years later, Maher would again be behind the microphone during the Flames' iconic run to the 2004 Stanley Cup Finals. That postseason became another defining part of the organization's story, and once again, his voice accompanied fans through the journey. His ability to bring enthusiasm and emotion to those games helped make his calls memorable. The moments were important not only because of what happened on the ice, but also because of the way they were experienced by those listening. Maher's broadcasting became part of the memories that fans carried with them from those seasons.